You know how it is. We've all seen these AI tools just blast out code. And yeah, it's impressive, but it often feels like you're working with a super enthusiastic intern, right? They're incredibly fast, but maybe a little naive. So what if your AI could be more than that? What if it could operate with the kind of discipline, the foresight, and the high standards of a true senior engineer? Well, today, that's exactly what we're diving into. How to transform your AI from just a code generator into a genuine partner for building top-quality software. And we're also going to tackle the big, often ignored elephant in the room, managing the hidden costs that come with all this power. Okay, here's our game plan. First, we'll nail down what we even mean by an AI senior engineer. Then, we'll see it in action with a really cool skill. After that, we gotta face the music and talk about those hidden costs, the tokens. And finally, don't worry, we'll arm you with 2 sets of strategies to get a handle on it all. 5 habits you can start today, and 5 automated skills you can build right in. Let's do this.
All right, Section 1, your AI senior engineer. Look, we need to kind of flip the script here. It's time to stop thinking of our AI as just a machine that spits out functions. We need to start treating it like a code governor, a partner that actually helps us enforce standards, that catches problems early, and that raises the bar for the entire project.
I really want you to think about this for a second. What does a great senior engineer actually do? They don't just grab a ticket and write the first thing that works. No way. They ask smart questions. They think about performance. They worry about security. And they wonder how someone's going to maintain their code 2 years from now. They check their own work before anyone else has to. A basic AI assistant writes code. A senior engineer ensures quality. And that is the gap we are trying to close. And this is how we close it. Meet the Architect Autonomous Reviewer. This is way more than just a linter. It's a skill that builds a whole new workflow. It basically forces the agent into a loop. First, you implement the feature. Then, you immediately run a self-audit for quality. And finally, you report back on what you found. It's that self-audit step that's so key. It's like the AI is checking its own homework before handing it in, just like a disciplined developer would.
So that's the big idea. Now let's get into Section 2 and see how this thing actually works. What does it really look like when your AI starts implementing with this kind of discipline? What are the real, tangible benefits you get?
This table really breaks down the power of the architect skill. Let's walk through it. First, you get built-in verification. As soon as the AI writes the code, it runs its own private code review, looking for type errors, common security holes, or performance issues. It's amazing. Second, you get implementation discipline. It's programmed to enforce best practices we all know we should do, like avoiding hasty abstractions, making sure there's solid error handling, and using structured logs. Hallmarks of great code. Third, you have on-demand deep dives. You can just use a slash command like /optimize or /harden to tell the AI to do a focused review on something you're worried about. It's like having a specialist on call 24/7. And finally, this is my favorite part, explicit sign-off. The AI isn't done until it literally types out audit complete, says if it passed its own tests, and gives you notes. Talk about accountability. Now, you might be thinking, can't I just kind of cobble this together myself? Well, this slide shows why the architect skill is so unique. Things like create rule, those are meta skills for building tools. They aren't the tool itself. Update cursor settings is just for your editor config. It has nothing to do with code quality. And something like a pre-commit hook, that runs at the very end right before you commit. The key difference here is that the architect skill runs continuously during implementation. It's not a final check, it's a constant partner, making sure quality is baked in from line 1, not just sprinkled on at the end.
Okay, having an AI senior engineer sounds fantastic, right? But here's where the story takes a little turn. All of this brain power, this constant analysis, it doesn't come for free. And that brings us to Section 3, where we have to talk about the hidden cost of tokens, the actual currency of AI coding.
Every single thing you do with the AI, every prompt you write, every file you reference, every line of code it looks at, gets broken down into these little pieces called tokens. Just think of them as tiny computational credits. The more complex your request, the more context you give it, the more tokens you burn. And a powerful skill like the architect is naturally pretty token hungry. Quality costs.
So where are all these tokens going? This chart lays it out perfectly. First, your rules. If you have rules that are always on, they get tacked on to every single prompt, quietly eating up tokens in the background. Second, conversation history. Oh man, this is a big one. In a long chat, every new message sends the entire past conversation back for context. The cost doesn't just add up, it grows exponentially. Third, file context. Every file you add can dump thousands of tokens into the prompt. And finally, agent behavior. When you use a powerful agent, it's making tons of internal calls to think and plan. If it goes down the wrong path, all those correction messages just multiply your costs like crazy.
Okay, so we get it. It can be expensive. But the good news is we can totally control this. So let's get into the solutions, starting with Section 4, 5 Habits for Token Savings. This is your manual playbook, simple, effective things you can start doing right now to be way more efficient.
Here it is, your 5-step savings plan. Number 1, plan before code. Spending a few dozen tokens to have the AI outline an approach can save you thousands by keeping it from building the wrong thing. 2, short, single-purpose sessions. Stop the endless chat threads. When a task is done, close the chat, start a new one. This is probably the single biggest thing you can do. 3, scoped rules. Use file globs to make sure your rules only load when you're actually working on relevant files. 4, minimal context. Be a surgeon. Give it 1 or 2 key files and a clear goal. Let the AI ask for more if it needs it. And number 5, stop early and restart. If you see the AI going sideways, don't argue with it for 5 messages. Trust me on this one. It is almost always cheaper to just stop, start a new chat, and give it a better prompt from the get-go.
Now, those habits are awesome, but what if we didn't even have to think about them? What if we could just automate all that efficiency? That brings us to our final section, your Automated Efficiency Toolkit, 5 skills for token savings.
So our first automated tool is the Token Efficient Session skill, and its whole job is basically to bake those best practices we just talked about right into the workflow. It acts like a little guide, nudging you and the agent to interact in the most cost-effective way.
And here's how it does it. This skill enforces a few key behaviors. It's going to push you to plan first, it's going to promote that finish task new chat workflow, it'll remind you to have a clear goal with just a few file refs, it even gives you hard rules like start over if the context gauge is over 60%. It basically automates the discipline we were just talking about. Next up, for all you power users out there, we've got the Token Efficient Rules skill. If you're writing your own custom rules, this skill is your new best friend. It's designed to help you write powerful rules without accidentally creating a monster token drain in the background. The advice here is simple but so effective. It guides you to have, at most, one very short always apply rule. It forces all your other rules to be scoped with file globs so they only turn on when they're needed. It teaches you to reference code examples with a file path instead of pasting huge chunks of code right in the rule. It can even help you audit your existing rules to find the expensive ones. Skill number 3 actually targets the AI's own behavior. It's called minimal context for this task, and its goal is to teach the AI to be frugal, to stop it from just greedily grabbing every file it thinks it might need, and instead be much more precise. This skill basically instills some discipline in the AI. It'll now try to start with just 1 to 3 core files. It will prefer to explore a folder structure first instead of just opening everything inside, and it explicitly says no to that expensive habit of pinning a bunch of files just in case. It's all about making the AI more surgical.
Our 4th skill is like a little financial advisor for your token budget. It's called Credit-Aware Mode Selection, and it just helps you pick the right tool for the job every time. Because using the right mode is absolutely key to managing your costs.
And this lays it out so clearly. Use the free auto mode for the simple stuff, formatting, boilerplate, easy fixes. Save the powerful, credit-burning agent or premium modes for the heavy lifting, big new features, multi-file refactors, tough debugging. And for little inline edits, just use table completion. That note at the bottom is huge. A single agent task can fire off up to 15 internal calls. You really want to save that for the complex work.
And our last skill brings us right back to where we started. The Plan First workflow skill takes that super important outline before code habit and turns it into an automated, systematic part of your process for any big change.
Here's how it works. Before it starts a big job, the agent has to either ask you questions or give you a plan, and it will not write a single line of code until you say go. And the best part? If you forget and just jump in with a huge request, the agent will gently remind you, asking, hey, should I outline the approach first? Think about that. A few tokens spent on a plan can save thousands by preventing a failed implementation. It's a game changer.
So when you put it all together, the quality checks from the architect skill and the efficiency from the saving strategies, it all points to this one core idea. The real goal here isn't just about raw speed. It's about letting us build better, more solid, more reliable software in a way that's actually sustainable. It's about quality and efficiency, together.
And that really leaves us with one final thought. For so long in this field, we've been taught that quality and efficiency are a trade-off. You can have it fast or you can have it good, pick one. But the tools we've looked at today, they really challenge that idea. They show us that with the right approach, you don't have to choose. So the real question isn't quality or efficiency, it's how can you master both?